Today in crypto, the price of Bitcoin is up as the halving hype continues to build in anticipation of the event, and you will not believe just how much Bitcoin is currently being accumulated daily, and just what have those whales been up to during all of the craziness over the last few weeks. Also, Argentina's central bank is starting to test out Bitcoin technology for interbank payments. Very, very interesting stuff. The Crypto Lark, this is where you subscribe for all of the hottest and all of the latest happening out there in the wild, wild land of crypto. By the way, for those of you who are new to crypto and you need help figuring out all of the basics, make sure to go and check out my beginner course called Cryptocurrency Explained. It is going to take you step by step through all of the essentials of getting started investing in Bitcoin. There's a link down below where you can learn more. So let's go ahead and turn over to the charts here to get started off with today. One beautiful candle pushed the price of Bitcoin up to nearly $7,800, which is totally insane. Just think about this. In just 5 weeks since March Madness happened, the price of Bitcoin has almost completely recovered. Now let us see if we can actually maintain this current price momentum that we have seen coming into the market. Now, as you can see here, the price zone around $7,450 has been a very significant one for Bitcoin over the last year. And very recently, we did see it act as a line of resistance as well. If we can now flip this area into support, then that would be a great base for pushing forward to try and retake the $8,000 level, which is a very significant price zone since it is where the 200-day moving average is currently sitting. So I would definitely expect some resistance there. You never know, Bitcoin can do its crazy Bitcoin thing, just blast right past that. But that being said, this 8,000 zone is an incredibly significant area, and that 200-day moving average, of course, is very significant as well. So I would expect potentially a couple of failed tests there. But it's definitely nice to see the way things have been playing out. I mean, just look at the 50-day moving average. We had that nice clean move above it, came back down to retest, bounced off, very strong move. And the 50-day moving average has been a very important line for traders recently, and considering that traders have been paying so much attention to it, we should definitely be keeping an eye on that as a key line of support on the downside. Currently it's sitting around $6,700. Any sustained break under this would not be good, but let's keep an eye out for prices to move forward, and hopefully we'll get over that 200-day moving average. I think that will be a great bullish confirmation of the strength of the market that we're seeing building up right now. A big thank you to Crypto.com for sponsoring today's episode. The next Crypto.com Syndicate event is only a few days away. You'll have the chance to score some VeChain at a 50% discount on April 28th. So make sure that you have your CRO tokens staked on the Crypto.com exchange to be ready for that event. Great news as well for American Crypto.com users. You can now make fiat withdrawals back to your bank account using the ACH network. Withdrawals to your bank from Crypto.com will be free. So it's a nice way that you can just get your cash back into your bank account and take those profits. And a quick reminder too that you can still be in to win a sweet range of Apple gear like the new MacBook or the iPhone by staking CRO tokens over on the Crypto.com exchange. You have a week left to get your CRO token staking to be eligible for that giveaway. And of course, if you do not have a Crypto.com debit card yet, then now is of course a great time to grab one. You can enjoy up to 5% crypto back on purchases. So every time you swipe your card, you can get in crypto back, as well as cool perks like free Netflix and free Spotify, as well as airport lounge access and other cool perks. Personally, I am loving that free Netflix during the lockdown. I've actually been watching a bunch of Adam Sandler comedies over the last few days. That guy cracks me up every time. And of course, if you use the link down below to reserve a Ruby Red tier card or higher, I've got the Jade Green, so Ruby Red is just one tier below, then you can actually get $50 in free crypto for doing so. Pretty sweet deal. Okay, now on to the first big story of the day. The Central Bank of Argentina has teamed up with the Bitcoin startup IOV Labs, the guys behind Bitcoin smart contract platform Rootstock, to develop a proof of concept for a private blockchain-based payments network between banks. Now, a number of banks have already signed up to test out this network. To be clear, though, the banks are not going to be transacting between themselves in Bitcoin, and they are not using an open public network. But what they are doing is testing Bitcoin technology to track and settle payments between banks. My hope from a story like this is that this test goes very well and that these banks can actually look at this and then decide, hey, let's actually start using open public Bitcoin networks, or maybe another cryptocurrency. Maybe they'll come over and use Ethereum or something like that. Because when I look at a story like this, I just think that there's going to be this massive advantage to those countries or companies that are the first ones to actually get out there and adopt open public networks into their financial plumbing. Argentina is a great candidate to see this happening with. I hope that the test goes well and that they'll just start using gosh darn Bitcoin. That would be great, guys, if you could do that. Next up, decentralized margin trading exchange DYDX has seen a loan origination spike to over $1 billion, with a massive spike happening just in the first few months of this year, largely in line also with volume spikes we've seen on other platforms like Kyber Network. And I know that this is still a far cry from the volumes that we see happening on centralized exchanges, which are doing some of them billions of dollars a day. Nevertheless, it is really great to see volumes across decentralized platforms increasing. This trend is continuing and it is on the uptrend. These decentralized finance platforms, very, very interesting. In fact, the decentralized finance movement is growing so important right now that Coinbase has announced that they will be releasing the Coinbase Price Oracle to provide price feeds to the DeFi ecosystem for Bitcoin and for Ethereum. Decentralized finance, this is going to be massive. It is going to potentially be the catalyst for the next big bull run in crypto. And Ethereum is going to be right there leading that charge. All these different applications, very interesting opportunities out there in the DeFi space. And finally, the big story for today. The Bitcoin halving is only 18 days away now, and the hype is continuing to build with massive spikes in public interest. Bitcoin halving searches over on Google, for example, are up big time. In fact, we have now passed the 2016 halving high. And do note that the 2016 high for search results for the Bitcoin halving, they actually happened the week of the halving back in 2016. We have now surpassed that old number, and we're still 2.5 weeks out from the Bitcoin halving. So there's a lot more hype potentially to come. Also, the Chinese term for Bitcoin halving has recently gone viral on Weibo, which is like China's version of Twitter. It was the 6th most searched term in the past 24 hours in China. This is in spite of the fact that China has effectively banned the purchase of Bitcoin using the Chinese yuan. Demand from China for Bitcoin remains red hot, and the government has been completely unable to stop the thriving Bitcoin markets that have become the thriving Bitcoin black markets in China. It's only made it more difficult for people to get in. And if China can't stop Bitcoin markets, then we need to realize that no one can stop Bitcoin markets. And a very interesting stat for you as well. It seems that Bitcoin whales have been getting ready for the Bitcoin halving. The number of Bitcoin whales with at least 1,000 Bitcoin is now higher than at any point in the past 2 years. In total, there are nearly 1,850 addresses that have more than 1,000 Bitcoin. This is telling me that in spite of all of this uncertainty that we've been seeing in the wider markets, that Bitcoin whales remain very confident that buying Bitcoin right now is a good move for the long haul. And it's not just the whales that have been accumulating Bitcoin. The number of Bitcoin addresses holding 1 Bitcoin or more continues to hit new all-time highs, and we've talked about that a few times here on the channel, but it just keeps going up. This is accumulation time. In fact, the number of addresses holding any amount of Bitcoin has grown by 25% in just the last year. In total, we are seeing an incredible $500 million a day worth of Bitcoin being accumulated in the run-up to the Bitcoin halving. That's around 75,000 Bitcoin a day. Wowzers. Just take a look at this chart here, which represents the daily accumulation number for Bitcoin. You can easily see on the right-hand side of this chart that we are in a massive stage of Bitcoin investor accumulation right now. People are buying it, they're holding it, they're taking that long-term view. We've hit levels on this chart that we haven't seen in a very long time. And really, this just underlines what a lot of investors are anticipating for the Bitcoin markets long term. Buying Bitcoin at these levels, it's been nice. It's been very, very nice, Bitcoin. Thank you for this. It's been good, really good. The Bitcoin halving, it's just the signpost, on our journey to new highs. The day itself, don't get too excited. It's really going to be a non-event. Some code's going to execute and ba-ding, the next block comes out and half the block reward. But it's the weeks after that we need to watch for. Bitcoin could even decline up to 30% in the weeks after that. But I want you to zoom out to the big picture here. After the halving, 27,000 Bitcoin, around $200 million at today's prices, less Bitcoin a month will be mined. 27,000 Bitcoin a month less. That's crazy. That's happening in 18 days. We're going to get a big supply shock as the miners will now have 50% less Bitcoin to dump into the markets. The impact on price is not going to be overnight. A lot of miners have stores of Bitcoin that they'll slowly sell over time, but it will happen in the months that follow. As a reminder, the last market high came 18 months after the halving. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Have you got Bitcoin? Stack, sats, and chill. The long game on Bitcoin, it's crazy. Bitcoin is going to $100,000. Supply is going down, demand's going up. You do the math. Don't get shaken out. So your question for today, how are you personally playing the Bitcoin halving? Are you trading it, hoping that there's going to be some more price action hype coming up? Are you going to short after the halving, hoping that there's a decline? Or are you just not worrying about any of this stuff in a trading sense? You're just trying to get as much Bitcoin gobbled up at these lower prices as possible? Or do you think that we're going to go much, much lower? Are you feeling really bearish about the market still and are waiting to buy even cheaper Bitcoin at some point in the future? Let me know what your idea is. And of course, what are you thinking after the halving? Are you looking, okay, we're going to get up to $100,000 and then I'm going to sell off some Bitcoin? Or are you just stacking and chilling for the long-term hold? Really curious, as always, to know your thoughts. Hit me up down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Seriously, none of this is possible without your support. So thank you so much for coming over here and listening to this dude talk about cryptocurrencies on the internet. Hope you're having an awesome day out there. Remember to hit that like button. Google loves it. They're crazy. I don't know. The thumbs up button. You guys know the deal. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Long live the blockchain. And peace out till next time.